In my last video, series 62, we discussed the types of charges the bank creates on the assets of the borrowers. We discussed the charges, pledge, hypothecation, mortgage, assignment of debt, and lien. Today, why this video, series 63, let us discuss the documentation. What are the do's and don'ts in a document? How do we execute a document? What is meant by stamping of document? Anybody who would like to visit the earlier published videos of mine, kindly visit www.lendinghub.co.in and subscribe to this channel to understand the basic concepts of various matters pertaining to lending. Today, what we are going to understand is the documentation, execution of documentation, and stamping of documents. Let us first understand what is the purpose of documentation, what is meant by proper documentation, how do we select the document, and how a document looks like. The documentation establishes a legal and contractual relationship between the bank and the borrower. Proper documents means taking the appropriate documents, which means the document that need to be taken in case of a cash credit hypothecation facility is different from the document that is to be taken for a term loan. Proper execution means if the documents are not executed properly, it may not be acceptable in the court of law. That is why the documents need to be properly executed. Any document need to be stamped as per the State Stamp Act or as per the Central Act. What are the stampings to be done on different types of documents? The last one, the filing and registration of charges with certain organizations. Whenever the banks create charge, certain charges need to be registered with certain organizations like Registrar of Companies, SARSAI, Regional Transport Office, etc. Let us understand the documents which need to be registered. The type of document that I need to take will depend upon three aspects. One is the constitution of the borrower, two, the type of credit facility, three, the type of charge. Constitution of the borrower, when I say, the way in which a proprietorship concern executes a document will be different from the way in which a private limited company executes that document. Similarly, type of credit facility, the document that are required to be taken in case of a cash credit hypothecation facility will be different from the type of document the bank need to take in a term loan facility. Third one is the type of charge. Suppose I am extending a pledge facility to a customer, I will take a document called DPN and agreement of pledge. Suppose I am giving a demand loan to a customer to purchase some fixed assets, the documents will be the demand promissory note and the hypothecation of machinery. So the document also differs depending upon the charge to be created. Now let us understand how a document looks like. All documents are made in the standard format. They are designed and approved by the legal department. Banks are required to take the documents only in the standard formats. If any particular document have to be created, it should be approved by the legal department. Now there are two types of stamps which are used by banks in executing the document. One is called the revenue stamp, which are affixed on two documents. One is the demand promissory note and the renewal documents. What is one the renewal document? We will learn that later. Non-judicial stamps are affixed on charge creating documents and all agreements. Nowadays, the high value stamped papers are not available. As a result, we have to get the stamp paper franked by the designated banks for the appropriate value. So there are two types of stamps which bank use. One is called the revenue stamp, which are affixed on the DPN and the renewal document. And in all charge creating documents and the agreements, the document that is used is non-judicial stamp. Let us understand first the do's and don'ts in execution of a document. The first and the foremost thing is go through the sanction note sent by the sanctioning authority. Look at the terms and conditions. There may be some pre-disbursement conditions and post-disbursement conditions. Ensure that the credit facility is released only after complying with all the terms and conditions stipulated by the sanctioning authority and after execution of all the pre-disbursement documents. As I have told you earlier, use only the standard format. Number two, whenever a document is executed, use the same pen for filling up the blanks. Use the same color of ink throughout in one document. When the blanks are filled in, the same person should fill on all the blanks in the document. The date of execution should be written. If there are different dates, say for example, one document partly executed in Bangalore and another part is executed in Mysore, if there is a change in the date, the second person, when he affixes the signature, he should write there the second date and also write in his own handwriting the reason for signing the document on a different date, and it should be run in his own handwriting. All documents should be executed only in the presence of an officer of the branch. The entire execution of the document should be completed in one sitting. Do not hand over the documents to the borrowers or the guarantors for getting signatures outside. Any alterations or additions obtain the full signature of all executants. Do not take signatures on blank documents. Backdated documents should not be obtained. Documents to be signed only by the borrowers and guarantors. We do not permit the power of attorney holders of borrowers or guarantors to execute the document. And once the documents are executed, enter the full details in the document register available with the branch. All documents to be kept in steel almara with double lock facility located in the strong room and in the fireproof vaults. Needless to mention, that before execution of the documents by the borrowers and guarantors, complete the entire KYC process. Now, if you look here, a demand promissory note executed by an individual, the borrower signs in his individual capacity. If the same demand promissory note is executed by an illiterate, he has to affix the left thumb impression or the right thumb impression. Name of the executant should be written after the thumb impression. If a demand promissory note is executed by a proprietorship concern, naturally there is a revenue stamp. Across the revenue stamp, his signature should be there. Part of his signature should be on the document. On the left hand side, the borrower should sign in his personal capacity without affixing the rubber stamp of the firm. Now, when a demand promissory note is executed by the partners of a business firm, at least one of the partners should sign across the revenue stamp. All the partners need to sign the document in the capacity as a partner of the firm for which the rubber stamp of the firm should be affixed. Similarly, on the left hand side, all of them should affix their signature in their personal capacity. When a joint and several demand promissory note is executed by a private limited company or a limited company, the branch should obtain a board resolution certified by the chairman or the company secretary, furnishing the names of directors who are authorized to sign the documents should be obtained and held along with the documents. Here their liabilities are limited and the directors need not sign the document in their personal capacity. Nowadays, based on the amendment of the Companies Act 2015, common seal affixation is not mandatory. When we extend a credit facility to a limited company, please note to obtain the following documents. The first one is the certificate of incorporation, memorandum of association, which should be duly certified by any director or company secretary, articles of association, again duly certified by any director or company secretary, audited balance sheet and P&L account statement for the last 3 years, a copy of the board resolution certified by the chairman or company secretary authorizing the borrowing and other relevant matters, and the resolution should be passed at a properly convened meeting and not by circulation. The branch should also obtain the shareholding pattern, that is the names of directors, shareholding that is share of those who are holding more than 5% of share in the company. Obtention of common seal on documents and certificate of commencement of business are not required as per Companies Amendment Act dated 2015. When you are extending a credit facility to a society, club, charitable trust, etc., the documents to be obtained are a true copy of the registration certificate issued by the competent authority under the Societies or Registration Act should be obtained. Certified true copy of the constitution and bylaws of the institution should be obtained, and borrowing powers should be ascertained from the same. These powers should be expressly stated in the bylaws or in the resolution of the general body meeting held as per the bylaws. The purpose for which the society is formed should be verified. The activity of the society should be in conformity with the specific purpose. The resolution of the managing committee or of the general body meeting empowering specific office bearers to borrow on behalf of the institution should be obtained. A declaration should be obtained from the office bearers that the assets and securities are free from all encumbrances and are not charged to any other creditors or banks and financial institutions. The document should be executed by the specified office bearers as per the resolution of the managing committee. They should sign on behalf of the society. The seal of the society should be affixed as per the requirement of the bylaws. This is an example for execution of a document by a society, trust or club. Here, in this case, the chairman, the secretary and treasurer are authorized to sign. So, they have to affix the stamp of the society, trust or club and sign. They need not sign on the left hand side in their personal capacity. This is an example of document. We will go to the how to do an execution. I am giving an example. This is a deed of hypothecation of stock and book debts. If you look here, the first line, there are two blanks. There, initials of the borrowers need to be obtained. Wherever there are blanks, after filling that blank, initials of this one having authenticated. At the end of each page, the full signatures of all borrowers together with the firm's rubber stamp if applicable. That is, when any execution is done in their personal capacity on the left hand side, if the signature is without stamp. And suppose the document is running into pages, in all pages at the end, the borrowers or the executants, including they should affix their full signature.